Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. We're going to go take a look at three different videos. Two of them are going to be Elon Musk, and you're free to make up your own mind based on the evidence. But just in my little humble opinion, man, I feel like I'm being digitized. It's freaky. Some days I'll go outside barefoot, and it's it's eerie. Uh, I don't know if any of you've ever done DMT before. I've done every drug under the sun. Uh, just add another one to the arsenal. But I did some, and the last time I did it, um, man, you're supposed to go see this inner spiritual awakening entity portal something. My last trip, everything turned into like cartoon land. I mean, everything was cartoonish. It was like being like I was living in a Simpsons episode. I looked at the remote and I couldn't even read the alphabet or the numbers or any of the words that were on the remote. All I could see just big fat buttons. I was like, oh my God. Because I was trying to turn down TV because Katy Perry was on one of those talk shows, late night talk shows, and I had already heard her drivel before. Uh, so I was in cartoon land, and I'm looking around, and everything's just like a cartoon. It's all these bright pastel colors outlined in big black edges, and I'm like, holy shit! How long is this gonna last, man? I started like really kind of freaking out. So I went in the backyard and like got some fresh air, and I'm looking at the tree, and of course the tree's really cartoonish for anybody who's done psychedelics. But I finally came down out there, and everything came back to normal. I was like, God dang, man, I can't even imagine being stuck like that. Yeah, that would be just, oh my God, that would be just horrifying. So that was the last time I did DMT, but um, it just seems like I don't know what's going on in the world. I know there's people that are aware, or enlightened, chosen, how whatever you want to call it, that are just operating in a completely higher frequency than everybody else. And I'm pretty sure I'm one of those entities. I'm at the point now where I disassociated myself from pretty much society. It's a trip. Uh, I just don't really want to, get out there and be with anybody anymore. It's odd, man. It's really odd. I can't put my finger on it. But anyway, let's get over here and look at these Elon Musk videos because I want you to look at both of them and then tell me what you think because when Elon Musk stutters, he pauses, and he does that a lot, especially when he's like in the Oval Office or in a cabinet meeting. So let's go check out these two different videos and tell me what you think. And then I'm going to play these other ones as a follow up. Here he is on Joe Rogan. So this is 6 months ago. And let me see if this is copyrighted because this is fair use. I don't see any copyright stuff on here. I have to make sure. Hey, Joe, can I use your shit? Thank you. Let me blow this baby up.
Next thing you know, it's Sunday afternoon. They're posting on X that he's resigned from the race, which is, and his staff didn't even know. Like they're reading it on the X platform. Okay, that's how they learned about it.
What do you think happened there? How did they do that?
Because he's clearly just not in charge. Obviously,
they could have used the 25th Amendment, right?
Fake president.
but they would have to admit that there was a certain period of time where they knew that he was mentally compromised.
Yes.
And so they made this decision to not do that.
Well, the weird thing is that the president's supposed to be the boss.
Right.
And yet he's obviously not the boss.
Right. So who's running the country? If she's busy campaigning, she's so busy she can't do anything except Saturday Night Live. She did that. She's so busy. She's constantly campaigning. How could you be paying attention to international relations?
Yeah.
How could you be paying attention to the economy? How could you be paying attention to any of those things? How do you have the time? You can't.
Yeah. I mean, Biden being the president's supposed to be the CEO, the chief guy, and he was commander in chief. But it just obviously that Biden was not. He was just a puppet. And when the various puppet masters decided that the puppet it was no longer useful, they just tossed out the puppet and then got a new puppet with Kamala. I mean, Kamala can't even talk. That you invited her on your show. I think the most damage that could possibly do.
There you go. Did you hear all that stuttering and stuff? You see how he pauses and stutters and sometimes repeats a word just super quick. So let's get over to this other one. And this is from like today or yesterday. You're going to see a stark difference. And this is Farzad's website right here. So go check him out, man. He follows Tesla. He's got some good videos. This is my second one today.
Europe, okay. And
yes, but that's true of all manufacturers. There's no exceptions.
okay, but you would acknowledge, wouldn't you, that what you are facing, and let's just take it as Europe, is a significant problem. This Tesla was an incredibly aspirational brand. People identified with it. They saw it at the forefront of the climate crisis, and now people are driving around with stickers in their cars saying, I bought this before we knew Elon was crazy.
And there are also people who are buying it because Elon's crazy, or however they may view it. So yes, we've lost some sales perhaps on the left, but we've gained them on the right. The sales numbers at this point are strong, and we see no problem with demand.
So what?
And you can just look at the stock price. Stock market analysts have that, and our stock wouldn't be trading near all-time highs if things weren't in good shape. They're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I was citing sales figures rather than share price. Well, tell me then how committed you are to Tesla. Do you see yourself being the chief executive of Tesla in 5 years' time?
Yes.
No doubt about that at all.
Well, no, I might die.
Short of that.
I can't be CEO if I'm dead. So there's a slight amount of time.
Does that mean that the value of your pay doesn't have any bearing on your decision?
Well, that's not really a subject for discussion in this forum. I think obviously there should be compensation for, if something incredible is done, that compensation should match that something incredible was done. I'm confident that whatever some activist posing as a judge in Delaware happens to do will not affect the future compensation.
This is the judge who twice struck down the $56 billion pay package that was awarded to you. I think the value on the current value of stock options. Yeah.
Not a judge. The activist who is cosplaying a judge in a Halloween costume.
The current value of stock options, I think the value of that pay package stands at about $100 billion. Are you saying you are relaxed about the value of your future pay package? Your decision to be committed to Tesla for the next 5 years, as long as you are still with us on this planet, is completely independent of pay?
No.
It's not independent. So pay is a relevant factor then to your commitment to Tesla.
The sufficient voting control such that I cannot be ousted by activist investors is what matters to me. And I've said this publicly many times. But let's not have this whole thing be a discussion of my alleged pay. It's not a money thing. It's a reasonable control thing over the future of the company, especially if we're building millions, potentially billions of humanoid robots. I can't be sitting there and wanting to get tossed out for political reasons by activists. That would be unacceptable. That's all that matters. Now let's move on.
Okay.
You just heard that entire statement, and he'd never once really paused, never double spoke, never stuttered. So what does he produce besides cars and trucks? Oh, Neuralinks. And what else? Starlinks. Oh, I wonder if they're connected. You think maybe? Internet of Things. What are people? We're things. Didn't you know? They're devious, I'm telling you. So, whether or not, it appears to me that there's at least two Elons running around. One that stutters and pauses, and the other obviously can give you a very technical, coherent statement without pausing, which he rarely does. So that's what caught my eye when I heard that statement right there. It's like, man, that dude didn't stutter, didn't stop. And I went back and rewatched it. So earlier I was perusing over at my other friend, Weekend Warrior on Rumble. If you don't subscribe to him, go check him out. Now, what we're going to look at is an iPhone circuit board. Okay. Now, I don't know what model this is. Hopefully it'll show it. But I want you guys to really pay attention to it, and I may play it even twice for you. What we're talking here is size matters, because we're going to get in some scales that are incredible. We've all heard of nanotechnology and, a nanometer and a nanosecond, right? Well, you're getting ready to see pico and femto, even smaller, okay? And on this little venture into the circuit board of this iPhone, we're going to go right past a human hair, and you're going to be able to do an analysis of comparison to give you a topographical map of exactly the size of everything that you're looking at. So I want to thank him, man. He's always got some dynamite stuff. So here we go.
How did humans make this, right? This is a microprocessor. That's a human hair, the width of a human hair. Look how deep this goes. How, as human beings, have we been even able to come close to making something like this? You think, oh, that's amazing. Like, he's gone in quite far there. It just keeps going and going. Look how far this goes. How did we make this? Like, what process did it blows my mind. It just keeps on going. Look at that. And then the zoom out. And like, that was all just right in there. And that's the human hair.
That was pretty freaky, huh? Like, what is making that? What is that technology? So let's go find out what a human hair is all about, right? So that's what I did. A human hair width in femtometers. A strand of human hair is about 80,000 to 100,000 nanometers wide. Since 1 nanometer equals 1,000 femtometers, the width of a human hair would be between 80 million to 100 million femtometers. So you can see on the scale of whatever that was, a chip, circuit board, no telling. But now, when you watch Elon, be sure and check him out and pay attention to his speech, his cadence, the words that he's actually speaking, how technical they are or how casual they are. Because when you get into specifics, especially when he's talking about his SpaceX rocket launches, that's a big deal. Was there something else I was going to show you guys? I can't remember. No, I don't think so. Mm-mm. Nope. I'll get back with you. Anyway, I just want to give y'all that little quick update, man. Uh, Elon's all over the place. Has he cloned himself, or does he have a stand-in? It's like that. Just really pay attention to what people are. You know, they're always saying, you know, we're in this world stage, or we're in a matrix. Who the hell knows what the hell's going on? I just found it odd that in some settings he can barely spit out a cognitive paragraph without stumbling all over himself to get it out. And then here, through almost those two interviews he did today, that one in for that Qatar seminar, and then the other one for Bloomberg, where he was almost flawless, like it was a robot. I had comments over here. Let me go check y'all out. Hey, baby crab cakes, welcome to the show. Crystal, Wild Tree. Oh yeah, that was. And three of us were doing it, and one, every time she'd do it, she'd be on the floor rolling, laughing her ass off, and we'd be looking at each other, going, "Do we do that? Is that what we do? No, that's not what you do. No, it's not what you do either. What's the difference?" Yeah, it was every time, man, she'd be on the floor rolling. Like, man, we want to be like that. Maybe she was in cartoon land. I don't know. That's funny. Read the Constitution. Yeah. I know that he is fake. NMD. You know, with us, all this Epstein stuff and Cash Patel and Dan Bongini stating that he committed suicide. Okay. The file may say he committed suicide. The autopsy, medical examiner's report may say he committed suicide or died by asphyxiation. But listen, okay, I've been in freaking every type of cell you can be in. I've been in cells that were built in the mid 1800s. Yeah, I mean, like really incarcerated in that cell. Yeah. And the whole evolution for the ones that were built in the 1880s in Texas, then in the 1930s in Texas, the 1960s in Texas, the 1980s in Texas. And those are all different types of metal that they use, the bar structure. Some, you know, they eventually went to this square tubing where they put it on in a diamond pattern in the front door. They did away with the old steel bars that weighed so much. Use more tilt wall stuff. So to hang yourself in a cell, a high security cell block at that, you would really have to work at it. You would, you know, because of the height of anything that you could connect a rope to get to, you know, if you're 6 foot tall, you're almost ducking to get in the cell door. It's, you know, pretty close. It's not much more above you. If you're 6'4", you're ducking. So above that, you have some have shelves, some don't. Some have lockers, some don't. Some don't have anything up there. Some have a fixed light. Some have a light bulb. Some have in-ceiling fluorescent lights. So to get something substantial to where it would hold you, choke you, where you wouldn't, you know, automatically spaz and try to save yourself. So you'd have to obviously drug yourself with some type of depressant to get you to where you can't resist committing suicide, allegedly. But my opinion is no. Now, could he have been terminated? I would have to say, if he is deceased, that, yeah, he got terminated. We're not going to mention any names, but you guys know. I don't know if he's autistic or not. I mean, he might. There's different types of autism. Right? I know sometimes he sounds really South African and sometimes he doesn't. It's odd. SMBD the other day told Alex that Elon is gone. I mean, that would not surprise me at all. And I was going to mention this. You're kind of getting a glimpse. You thought you got a glimpse of it with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, and then boom, P. Diddy shit pops up. Okay. That P. Diddy shit, that's partying like a rock star. And if you've never lived that life or never been in that life, then it's kind of difficult for you to grasp what that power is like being in that position. And when you're a very, very high net worth individual, you know, a multi-millionaire, not just a multi-millionaire, close to billionaire and even beyond, nothing's out of the realm. You know, you throw $1,000 at women all day long and they're lined up one right after another. It can get really depraved after a while. And I've been in those positions, so I get it, what happens and what it's like to pretty much take your pick, where women are actually, you know, they just want to sleep with you because you're good looking. They don't care anything else about what you're the best looking guy in the club. They're going to take you home and they're going to bang your brains out. Absolutely. Trump's been in that position. When you hit that billionaire boys club, okay, when you have the control of billion or better, you're going to get a visit and they're going to want you to go join their club. And they're going to invite you to all these crazy wild ass parties. And what I like to say is I like to, you know, guide everybody. Go read the lyrics to the song Hotel California by the Eagles. And think of it as a, you know, that substance they're doing shots of to stay younger. One of those parties. Yeah, way back then. And they wrote a song about it. That's just my opinion. Jerry says it's two different people. Welcome to the show. God is a creator, in my opinion. Hello, Robin. Alien technology. Yeah. I mean, we're there. We're here. We're in it. We. If y'all didn't watch my video that I showed the other night with the artificial intelligence and robotics that are being created in Taiwan, it's astonishing what's coming out of there. You know, my opinion, we're already like in the movie The Terminator. We just haven't gotten categorized, located, and whatever else they're going to demand. I think we're already past that point. If you know, is Trump going to be the hero, come in on July 4th, 2026 and liberate the United States of America from the United States of America Incorporated? I don't know. That would be you know, that could be the end all be all of the old corporation. Who knows? It'd be interesting to see, but we're definitely in some strange times that every day is a historical day. I think the world's realized, well, you know, a lot of us knew that we didn't have this president and that we didn't know who the hell was running everything else, all these different departments, bureaus, and agencies. Obviously, well, nobody, because they're just like, yeah, fuck it, y'all go home, man. No, 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 y'all help them across. Make sure they don't drown. Oh, and give them all tampons. Man, we don't know if they're boys or girls or what. Oh yeah, USAID, they gave us a grant for that. We got 50 million for tampons. The idiocy. So yeah, every day is it's that. Yeah, I don't know if y'all caught or y'all watched David Nino Rodriguez. He had Sean Atwood today. Sean got popped for dealing ecstasy over in Arizona. And didn't like his visit. So he's back in the UK, rehabilitated, and he's had a show for quite a while. Mainly covers crime. He said he's written, oh my God, a plethora of books. Did a whole series on the Clintons, the Bushes, and the whole Barry Seal, Mena, Arkansas, Oliver North, Nicaragua, all that stuff. Medellin cartel. He is not unlived. Yeah. Texas has not been good for me. It's a love-hate relationship. I can't blame Texas. Okay. All Texas did was like catch me. And hold me accountable. That's basically it. If they would have caught me for everything, yeah, I'd still be there. So, yeah, and now Texas is, it's not a Republican state. It's a rhino state. I don't, even the Republicans are wimps. Yeah. It's and then Amanda Edwards, who's a Democrat, and she's trying to become the next Sheila Jackson Lee. She wants to become a career politician, get there and do all the fraud, corruption, graft, money laundering, and all that crap. And she's like, "Oh my God, the vacant district's going to be hit the hardest with SNAP." And I'm like, "Y'all had 30 years. Y'all have had this district for 30 years, and y'all have done nothing but run it in the ground." That's all y'all have done. And you're complaining because somebody's trying to save money. I remember going to Fifth Ward, exactly where she's talking about, and Acres Homes, exactly where she's talking about, where you can buy, sell SNAP cards. They were Lone Star cards back then, all freaking day long, because people would just have fraudulent accounts. So yeah, I'll smack them. So I also posted that, if you're still a Democrat today, after all the stuff that's coming out about Democrats, you're definitely mentally ill. You've lost your marbles. You should be like, I'm independent. Those people crazy. I'm just going to stay over here in my own lane, mind my own goddamn business. When the time comes up to go take care of that vote, I'm going to vote for the best person there is, okay? I don't care about the right, left, blue, red, purple, green, pink, polka dotted elephants. Not up to me. He lives. All right. We got to debate whether Jeffrey is alive or terminated. Diddy will go free? Well, let's talk about Diddy for a second. Okay, because I don't talk about Diddy much. And he's being charged with human trafficking, sex trafficking, and he's the only defendant. And we're not hearing about any other grand jury investigations. I doubt all these people that mentioned are even going to be subpoenaed to come testify during this trial to put their 2 cents in. But yeah, if you listen to the Sean Atwood interview, I'd actually like to have him on because of the association through Tony Busby, who's the attorney representing all the defendants against Jay-Z and P. Diddy, I believe. He's a local attorney here, personal injury attorney. He's run for mayor. He's run for a couple of political offices, and he never wins. But he's got a shit ton of money from personal injury suits. Yeah, I mean, they tell you in the music and in the movies, especially in the movies. Wait, so do I believe we're in a simulation? I do. It just feels something's feeling digital. It's strange. It's really, really strange. No politician is my hero. Well, you shouldn't idolize others. You should want to emulate them if they're successful in some form or fashion, but not to idolize them. You know, I see a lot of sports memorabilia and stuff like that, autograph stuff, and I'm not interested in any of that stuff. You know, wearing jerseys. I got some jerseys upstairs. I never wear them, ever. Rocket stuff, Astro stuff, and I used to be an Astros ball boy. Yay to simulation. What was your day? Alien Tech Show. I don't know. I've been doing shows, a bunch of them. You have to go look on my YouTube. I know we're in a sim. I didn't think it's. Before I started doing drugs and drinking, back when I was a little kid, I always had this ideation, okay, that all we are is like a snow globe or an ant farm that some little kid has in his room, and we're just like this little pet project. And, you know, in his lifetime, you know, we may last a month, a year, something like that. But to us, you know, we just go through generations. I mean, we're just like going at the speed of light, but to us, it seems slow, especially when you're in elementary school. You're like, damn, school day's never going to end. Come on, 3 o'clock. I want to go home. Now you're like, damn, it's already 11 o'clock at night. That kind of thing. So, yeah, it's odd. Y'all asking about it. Let me go look for it. Was it this one? I did it at the beginning, so yep, that's this one. So copy. All right, put it over here in the chat. It's like the first 10, 15 minutes. You live in Texas. Texas is big. You know, you go West Texas, it's completely different from East Texas, North Texas, South Texas, the Valley. Jerry says that Trump will not be the white hat people are full of hopium for. Well, you know, I'm going to tell you right flat out in the open what I'm fearful of. In fact, not fearful, fucking terrified, is the Stargate AI project with Larry Ellison of Oracle and Sam Altman of Chat GPT. What is that? OpenAI, and the other Asian guy, I can't never remember his name, where they want to pour $500 billion. And I guarantee you, Larry Ellison has no problem pouring another 500 billion or even $1 trillion in getting everyone in the world's DNA, where he can construct anything and everything for your DNA. He has your complete medical records, has 100% control of the whole populace. That's his goal. And to assimilate that with artificial intelligence. Ooh, you see where this is going, folks? And when you go watch the video that I just posted over here, you're going to see robots making robots, programming the robots to go make more robots. Uh-oh. We're in some scary freaking times, folks. Real scary. There's a lot of people with too much money and bad motives. I can tell you that. That's it. They just, caught me with my pants down, pissing on the Alamo. Kind of like Ozzy, except I had pants on. He was wearing his wife's dress. Everyone did stuff on their own free will. Diddy will walk. They don't have a viable case. I don't think you realize how easy it is to get a conviction. Baby crab cakes, it's a psyop. Again, my own personal experience, and I'll preface that with I swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but truth, so help me God. When I was in Harris County Jail at 2310, the Atascocita Road, Humble, Texas, which is now the Pam Lyncher State Jail, which then was called the Rehab. This guy came up to me. This was in somewhere between January and May 25th of 1981. And he goes, "Hey, Floyd, check this out." He hands me his indictment. I'm like reading it. Willie Joe Brown did intentionally enter into 7-Eleven and brandished a weapon, namely a .38 revolver, on such and such day, such and such time in Harris County, Texas, against the peace dignity. I'm like, weren't you in jail on this date? That's what I mean, Floyd. That's what I mean. I was in here with you. We was in the day room. I'm like, no shit. You were here, dude. What the fuck? How the hell they indict you for something you were in jail? That's how easy it is to get an indictment, folks. This fool was in jail with me, and they indicted him for aggravated robbery. So I've seen everything. I've heard everything, I flipped a quarter with a Harris County assistant district attorney in the holding chambers for a 12.5-year or a 13-year sentence. 6 months. He won. It was 13. I won. It was 12.5. I lost. Actually, no, it was 12 and 13. He wanted to give me 13. I was like, I'll take 15. He's like, nope, 13. I'm like, dude, that's a fucked up number, man. I said, I go, I want 12. He wasn't budging. And he said he'd flip me for it. Flip. I lost. He goes, I'm feeling good today. I'll give you 12.5. Like, oh, dude, you still got me. Still got me. Y'all don't understand those funky numbers. When you go to prison with a funky number, it tells the parole board that's the tip. That's the tip right off the bone. Oh, he's got a 19-year sentence. Who the fuck gets a 19-year sentence? He's got a 17-year sentence. They always go in, like 12, 14, 15, 16. They rarely ever hit an odd number, like 23, 29. Shit like that. You never hear that in there. Always nice round numbers like 60. A 14-year-old left Diddy's. Doesn't have the maturity to make these kind of decisions. Yeah, it's there's a lot going on there, a lot to peel. Well, thank you. Yep, it's easy. Doesn't bother me. I don't like alcohol. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the results. Absolutely, Stargate is horrible and scary. And then those things, yeah, and he still hasn't come clean on that, which I'm very disappointed. I would have thought he'd come out, hey, I made a mistake. I listened to these fucking idiots over here, and guess what? We're investigating them. No matter of fact, they're in custody. Did you know that? We have Dr. Fauci and Gitmo right now. Imagine if he would come out and said that. I mean, everybody would have been down with him. I mean, down right off the bone. Oh, thank God somebody's going to be held accountable. Right? Because everybody knows somebody who either knows somebody who died or knows somebody who died. Allegedly. True on the AI. They absolutely, they are making digital avatars of you. And that's why I expressed to, we're going to get into this a whole lot deeper about your digital DNA and what you need to do. If you're going to do an RV currency exchange, you got some anethals going to leave you a little chump change. Got some crypto investment or something other that, you're looking for, that goose going to roll that golden egg right down the pathway, the Golden Brick Road. There you go. You need to be prepared. You need to be already anonymous before you even get there. So when you go in, you're a ghost. Walk out a ghost. If you pull up in a vehicle, might want to take an Uber or something. Think about it. If you, already have established with your institution that you're going to exchange, they may even send a car for you and personnel, if you know what I mean. Anything's available. That's why I said, don't be the first one. Don't be the crash test dummy rushing for the door because, you just got to have it today or, you're going to lose your house tomorrow. I get that, but don't be the crash test dummy. There were absolutely, or a bunch of them. And it's odd because, you would think how Justin Bieber, it's just kind of been in P. Diddy orbit for a hot minute. Why they didn't subpoena him, why he's not going to testify. There's just a lot of stuff going on that should go on that's not going on. Raphael, summer is here, not till June 21st. Do you still hook up with Yisei? Asking for a friend? No. Absolutely not. Never, ever again. You can't make somebody help themselves. And when they're becoming a burden upon your sobriety and recovery, because you're slipping and becoming an enabler, then you have to catch yourself and you have to, of course, correct that. So you can become an enabler in a lot of different ways. But like I said, some people they don't want any help. You can't help them no matter what you do. Child sex trafficking and lots of tunnels, very nefarious, lots of evidence and testimony. Yeah. Yep. They already have it. If you haven't watched my videos, every smart device you have, every app you're logged into, they have all that. every keystroke you do, everything you look at on your screen, the camera's tracking you through AI, watching what you're watching, listening to you when you're not using your phone or not using your laptop. Yeah, I was watching a video the other day, where they took a smart TV apart and they're showing how they can, there's a camera in them watching you. I was like, damn, I always heard that was a thing, but yeah, apparently it's a thing. And it was just a little snippet. It wasn't even it was a part of obviously a longer interview, but they just posted that little snippet. Probably over Weekend Warrior stuff. He's generally the one to do that with. Alm has indicated Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner is the Antichrist. Allegedly, yeah. Jason A on YouTube covers that as well. He has alleged that partly because of his 666, what is it, North 5th Street or 5th Street building that he purchased for $2 billion, over leveraged on loans to purchase it. The commercial market decreased substantially right after he bought it, and there were plans to demolish the building and rebuild a bigger structure. That petered out for lack of funding and the depreciation of the property values. Can't really remodel the building because it has low ceilings rather, because it's an older building. So who knows what's going on with that? Could he be? Possibly. I've always said this, and you'll hear me say this time and time again, and people freak out when I say this. This is hell on earth, folks. This is Lucifer's domain. He was cast out from heaven to roam and rule the earth. Here we are. Surprise! And if he's a deity, an angel, a spirit who can obviously live forever, yeah, is he a spirit, a power, an entity, a force, an actual physical product, a shapeshifter? Who the hell knows what that looks like? But we do know that there's evil and worship of Satanism. I'm not going to say they necessarily worship Satan, because some of that stuff is just so far jaded. It's even bizarre, beyond Luciferianism. And this is the wrong show. If you ever given blood or any other biological material to doctor's office, they already have your DNA. They probably had our DNA since they were born. They do have your DNA. You didn't know that? It goes on a card. You haven't watched my videos, have you? You must be new. Yeah, Crystal, I covered that when I, when I first started my show. That was part of what we did. But yeah, they take a little card. I forget what it's called. It'll come to me. There's a name for it. There's a video on YouTube that'll walk you through the whole thing, how that card goes to the Vatican. But yeah, there's actually 3 births, 3 entities that are born. You got the baby Tarvin, which is this guy. Then you had the placenta, and then you had the afterbirth. And that's the 3. So mom and dad get one. Aww. They got me. The state gets one. Aww. That's your full name. Floyd Pleasant Tarvin IV. And of course, USA Inc. gets one too. That's Floyd P. Tarvin IV. That's why you got a middle initial when you do your IRS forms. Get your Social Security card. The 3 births. But that's a whole nother video. Gary, I agree about all the AI. It feels like everybody's asleep at the wheel on it. I'm just waiting for this to happen. It's here. One day we're going to wake up and be looking square at a mosquito killing robot, possibly, allegedly, yeah. And I heard, Trump and Hegseth came out, and Trump's like, yeah, we're coming out with new drones. Well, if you remember, about 4 months ago, when we had all the big drones in Jersey and all along the East Coast, and everybody's trying to figure out what they were, and moi took a deep dive, and I went and looked at everything that I could for every country in the world, what their military was doing with their drone technology, what the United States had on the front burner for their new drone technology, all the companies that solicited bids to become one of the contractors that could participate in the bid, and then what they were submitting. So I took that deep dive, and we are close to, anything can happen. I want to say that, there's still going to be some civil unrest somewhere in the states for the division, the divisiveness, to separate and conquer. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I know Trump's doing enough to keep all the QAnons happy. I mean, they're all freaked out about, Epstein killing himself. Now everybody's lost. I'm not going to say everybody. Let me clean that up, Floyd. Okay. Some people have lost confidence in Kash Patel and Dan Bongini. Simply because of their statements regarding Epstein and his methodology of being deceased. Yeah, you can tape up whatever you want. It's all digital. Every time you send an email, you make a phone call, text, you use an app, you sign into an app. You play those silly games over on Facebook where you look at it and press, okay, I want to be a princess today, or I want to be a Barbie. Or those other ones over there just, posing for every, oh God, it's silly. But yeah, they already know who you are, where you live, what you look like, everything about you, to the point where they probably can predict what you're going to do before you even have the thought in your head that you're going to go do that. That's how good it is. The AI, trust me, the AI that everybody out here is playing with in the public is nothing like what they're using. They can't release that, not to the public. It's way too powerful. What they're doing now is putting out these little test models. Here you go, here, it's free. And my analogy is, and I'm going to date myself severely. Some of you go like, what did you just say? I don't think I have anybody that young in my audience, but pagers. Okay. Back in the day, if you wanted the good pager, the best ones, they would give you one, but you had to get an account with them, right? So they gave you that free doorbuster to get you in there to use their service. Same principle. Same principle. But everybody should, and if you think, okay, I'm going to spend tomorrow cleaning up your DNA, no, it's going to take you a hot minute to clean up your DNA. Every account, every smart device you use, it's all got to go, or keep it and use it as your public face. And then slowly on new devices, you're going to set up all your new personas, whatever that looks like, whether you can use a trust, LLCs, LLPs, nonprofits, 501s, 508s, 503s, holding companies. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. That's up to you how you want to do that. But you need to get over there in that space and start now and get your shit together, because you can't commingle the two. Because, as soon as you're over here and you have this, a brand new sterile phone, and you log into your social media app and boom, 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 you just contaminated your phone. You just triangulated this phone, this brand new phone, through that one app with everything else you just left. So you can't do that. That's the catch. And it's going to be difficult for people to do that. Some, you may want just, a laptop dedicated to my public persona, social media that you already have existing. And of course, you want to downsize that. But over here, you're traveling the world, doing whatever you do, and nobody knows who the hell you are. You're Mr. ABC Trust LLC. Okay. How you doing, Mr. Trust LLC? That's how you roll. Yeah. It doesn't take much. And actually, they get it every day. Every time you go to the bathroom and flush that toilet, send your DNA down to the wastewater plant, and eventually they're going to have technology to be able to detect that and trace it right back to you. Oh, he's over there in that neighborhood. We trace his DNA. Yeah. Did I put something out that might jeopardize national security? I told y'all, folks, my mind works completely different from everybody else's. That comment I made about DNA was in response to, oh, okay. I don't really have a show schedule. I've been trying to do Mondays and Fridays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, but Raymond came on and just doing the whole trust deal. I've had him on a lot. I just, right before this, shot a video with one of his guests, a doctor of chiropractic, Dr. Wiederman. I never spoken to the man. They gave me a website to go look at. Excuse me. But I've been so pressed for time, I literally watched 18 minutes of a 19-minute video and then paused it at the last minute and jumped on theirs. Zoom to get on live with them to record the video. And because I really didn't know that much about them, I recorded it. I didn't want to go do a live show because I really didn't know what to ask. So Raymond kind of handled that. Then once I heard the story and everything, I interacted with him some more. I'll definitely have him on the show. We'll do a live eventually, but I just want to get that icebreaker out of the way, and I did. So generally, I used to do a show at Monday through Friday at noon Central, but that just got to the point where, my week was fucked because it really screws up your days. If you have to do something in Houston, sometimes it takes you an hour to get somewhere. And then if you're going to, hour and a half there, another hour back home, before you know it, your day's gone. So Mondays and Fridays, 6 p.m. if I'm not working, but I don't see anything on the horizon. So yeah, that should be good. And then generally I come on about 7 or 8. You're always, I always want to teach people something. So you're always going to learn something here. You bet that. I think so too. I think they've, and that spreads out among the, communities that some of these gurus and some of these other talking heads have, grasped onto that whole vernacular narrative and used it to unjust enrichment, to unjustly enrich themselves, which means they was some scamming fools. You're on YouTube. I'm looking at you. Yep. And that YouTube account goes to your your IP address. IP address goes to your cable hosting company or Starlink or whoever you have that account through. And then guess what? We know where you live. We know your name. We know everything in your account because these apps talk to each other. All that fine print, when you hit that, I agree to the terms and conditions, and you know, they make you scroll like still scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And you're like, finally, click, I agree. And you didn't read a word of it. Well, and all that terminology, phrases, and words and fine print is you accepting them the privilege to take your information, connect it to their other apps like you know, if you're using Facebook, the whole Meta platform, Instagram, and you know, whatever else they own. Same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft, ooh boy, they dirty. I mean, you know, Google, all of them. Ain't none of them any good. But yeah, it's a triangulation. You have to, it's like string theory. Just imagine, okay, if I call my mom in Galveston, okay, boom, there's a string to my mom in Galveston. Well, my mom calls my dad in Dallas, okay, and then I call my dad in Dallas. I just created a triangle, okay, and if that's repetitious, it's going to see a pattern. And what do we know about AI and patterns? That's what AI does, recognizes patterns like that. And that's what you do. AI can tell you what you're going to go watch tomorrow on YouTube based on your history. It's extremely accurate. So imagine if you were being pursued with that type of technology. How far would you get? Are you even prepared for anything like that? That's what's terrifying. So imagine artificial intelligence, your DNA, biomedications specifically for your DNA, and then robots making robots with artificial intelligence to deliver said product. Imagine a drone chasing you or a swarm of drones. And remember, most of you, I don't know if you've ever met the Boston Dynamic dog, the robo dog called Spot. Well, I got to meet Spot. I also got to meet personally, behind closed doors, in a breakout room, 3 IBM engineers that program the software for the brain, the operating system for the robo dog, which doesn't come with the dog. It's separate. It's a separate unit. It's an accessory. So you could actually put, you know, an IBM or Hewlett Packard or whatever other type of operating system and hardware that you want to put on there. Any type of lenses, you know, sensors. It goes on and on and on, and that thing is scary quick. Yeah, I can just see people just, you know, just being so terrified they just freeze when those things are chasing them. And you just like look around and you see these dogs chasing everybody. Your new refrigerator TV watches you. Yeah, it's yep, that just doesn't solve everything. You know, you have a microphone. That microphone's open. It's always open. It's always listening. You know, I guarantee you there's nobody on the other end with a set of headphones going, oh, hey, they're having sex, George. You want to listen? What, baby girl? Huh? Yeah, did your friend come home? Uh-huh. And got to say hi, and then he ditched you, huh? Now you're over here getting ready to get some more loving. I know. You know I'm right. Yeah, cameras and everything now. Cameras, microphones, GPS. So they're always tracking you. It's my opinion that these phones, because you cannot remove the batteries anymore, that even when the battery dies, that it still functions. It's still receiving and transceiving to whoever they have it programmed to. You know, you may not be able to use it through Verizon or T-Mobile or anything like that, but it's still operable. Doesn't take much. What? What do you want? What do you want, doggy dog? What? What? What do you want? You gotta let me finish my show. Okay? Will you let me finish? Can I finish? What time is it? 11:37? It's bedtime. That's what you want, huh? Give me 5 minutes. 8. Can I have 8? Shake on it. Come on. Good girl. All right, we're down. 8 minutes. All right, let me get through these if I can. Floyd, if they have our DNA already, why didn't they swap sex for murder cases? Because the entity seeking to match up the DNA does not have that DNA database. Okay? Because I'm a convicted felon in the state of Texas. You cannot be released from prison in Texas unless you surrender your DNA to them for the DNA database. And I did a whole lawsuit on that as well. So if you follow me, man, I've filed lawsuits on just about anything and everything that I found repulsive, offensive, and a violation of my rights. Thank you. Everything is self-taught. Believe me, I've tried to fry every brain cell I have. I'm sure you have to really follow me to know this, but in 86, 86 December, I got popped selling a quarter pound of cocaine, one rock of cocaine to a cop, undercover cop. I don't want to mention his name because he's still undercover, but now he's with a different department. And I know him. I know cops and robbers. Isn't that crazy? So while I was out on bond on that, I picked up a DWI. So I was going to run. I was like, man, I ain't going back to prison. They're going to throw the book at me this time. Because that was my third felony. Yeah, they could have habitualized me right then and there, but they didn't. Thank God. Probably would have changed my entire life. But I went in and got sentenced to the 12 and a half years. And on a lark, judge says, do you have anything you'd like to say before sentencing? I was like, sure. Can I have a week to get my affairs in order before I turn myself in? Yeah, I'll do that. And I spent that week partying my balls off. We went to an after hours party and we were all waiting to do X, and it turned out to be an acid party. And there, everybody had acid. And there were guys in there with like 1,000. Had books. A book is 10 sheets of 100 hits of acid, LSD, blotter, paper acid. So I bought me 100 sheet. So ate a couple more, ate 5 more, 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 and somewhere I lost count. I know I gave some away, but I ate all I could. So roughly somewhere between 70 to 90 hits of LSD in 3 hours. Yeah. And I made it through that. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. I don't have no idea how I came out of there sane. Do you know who Rob Braxton Tech Channel is? No, he sells Google free phones. What are your thought on that? Yeah, that's part of the series that I did on getting scrubbing yourself from digital DNA. Oddly enough, one of the operating systems that you can use to de-Google your phone only works on Pixel phones, which is a Google phone. I know that's like kind of stupid. How does that even work? Doesn't work on an Android or Apple. So yeah, that's real weird. Yeah, my dog. I have the world's best dog. She understands every word out of my mouth. She knows English. I'll turn on Pawn Stars, Rick and those idiots over there, knuckleheads. So they're always talking. So she always watches them. So I think they taught her as well. Colorful life is not even the description. It's odd that I say the things that I say. If you knew my experiences, because I spent almost 18 years of my adult life behind bars, yet I probably wouldn't change anything. There might be one or two things I would change, but for the most part, I had a fucking blast. I mean, a fucking blast. Every day was just fun on 11. No way I could emulate that lifestyle now. It just, impossible. I had so much fun. It was freaking insane. I had a blast in Houston. That's why I don't like Houston anymore, because it's nothing close to resembling what Houston used to be. Yeah, they just, it sucks. Face down in the bed till everybody decided they wanted to go to Piccadilly Cafe at the Sharpstown Mall to eat breakfast the next morning, all in our club clothes. And I'm like, white as a sheet. Can't eat. And they're all just scarfing, and the food's just like, I'm like, oh my God, how are these people eating food? I don't know how you want to be here. But I was with my girlfriend, so I had to be there. And I remember when we left, I was in the back seat of the car. I was hanging out this window. And my head was hanging out. And I was like, sweat was pouring off of me. And this little kid was looking at me in this car that was going by. He was like, just checking me out. I'm like, wow, check that dude out. And I was looking at him, I just went, and projectile vomit just went. It had been building up the whole time, and it finally was released while I was looking at that little kid. And that was pretty funny. But yeah, I survived somehow, man. You want to talk about a massive headache? Oh my God, I couldn't even move my head. I didn't want to talk. That's how bad it hurt my head. Lived in Pasadena. Yeah, I got a bunch of friends from Pasadena, Crystal. You may know a few. April Epps, Carol Suarez. There are a couple Pasadenas. Ray Lee Coon. There's another one from Pasadena. Some of the people that, well, I'm here to warn you. Don't do what I did. Don't be me. Yep. All right, folks, I got to go. I'm a minute over, and There she is, holding me accountable. Thank you, everyone. Like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. If you want to reach me, fiercefloatshow@yahoo.com. Fiercefloatshow.com is my website. Thank you, everybody, for watching. God bless you. And I will see you, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I'm going to be doing some more videos. Every trust that we have, I'm going to break it down exactly what that trust is. So if it's in the On Trust book, specialty book, look for a video coming out. If you want to know what a third-party special needs trust is, I'm going to tell you. How about an AB trust? I'm going to tell you. Perpetual family trust. I'm going to tell you. Stay tuned. Thank you, everybody. Good night.